I'm coming. What do you think happens when you summon somebody on the toilet? Hello, I am Bookface, and today we're talking about urban legends. Now, urban legends are basically just like campfire stories. An urban legend is basically defined as some kind of story that sticks in the public mind. Public mind. Sounds like a public access TV channel about psychics. That's oddly specific. The other defining feature of an urban legend is that its origins are unclear. Maybe this guy started it, maybe this guy started it.
Maybe it's real.
Maybe that little kid started it because he was bored. Who knows? And the third factor is that the details of the urban legend change from person to person. Basically, the defining feature of all urban legends can be summed up in the word confusing. So, let's jump right into it. The first urban legend is the Hookman. The Hookman urban legend, or sometimes just called the Hook, is an urban legend from the mid-50s about some lunatic from an insane asylum with a hook for a hand. The story goes something like this. So this couple is sitting in their car, and they're listening to the radio. And that's all they're doing. Nothing else out of the ordinary for a couple sitting in their car alone in the dark. Yeah, just the radio. While they're sitting there listening to the radio, they hear an announcement saying that a patient has escaped from the nearby asylum. This mental patient, of course, is the one that had his hand replaced with a hook. The girl then gets rightfully nervous. Like, even if a lunatic doesn't have a hook for a hand, you probably shouldn't be in the area if they've escaped. And she insists that her boyfriend drives them home. And he does. But when they get home, they look out onto their car, and to their horror, there is a bloody hook attached to the car's door handle. Now, I know that's supposed to be the intimidating reveal of, he was right there, he almost got him. But all I can imagine is some crazy guy with a hook going up and,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get these guys. I'm gonna get them. Just gonna open this car door with my hook for some reason. And then I'm gonna...
That Hookman did not have a good day. Of course, in some other versions of this urban legend, instead of just hearing the announcement and driving off, they sometimes hear just like a little scratching on the side of the car, or they actually see the Hookman just standing around in the woods, being a creeper. Of course, there are other versions of the legend that don't end so happily for the couple. In one particular version, the guy and the girl are actually driving along the road, and the guy pulls off into the woods because either the car breaks down or he just has to pee. He then goes off into the woods to pee or something, and the girlfriend's just sitting in the car listening to the radio when the announcement comes on, you know, the one I mentioned earlier, that there's a Hookman on the loose. So she's waiting for her boyfriend to get back, and she starts hearing this thumping noise on the top of the car. And it just keeps going. She's very confused.
Who be thumping?
So she goes out to investigate, and, whoo boy! So, what she goes out and sees is the Hookman sitting on the roof of their car with the boyfriend's severed head on the end of his hook that he's just tapping against the roof of the car. Jeez, that's violent. Just thumping the severed head like, yo, get out of there. I need to kill you next, but I don't want to mess up your car. Get out, I don't have the keys. Of course, there are even more versions. In one version, the girlfriend actually doesn't hear a thumping. She just goes out to investigate why her boyfriend is peeing so long. And she just sees his bloody corpse on the roof of the car, nailed to a tree. She then tries to run away, but accidentally backs into the Hookman, and then she gets murdered. Now, this urban legend in particular has been used for a number of different things, whether it be supernatural TV shows or movies. I believe it was the inspiration for I Know What You Did Last Summer. The next urban legend we have is Bloody Mary. And that's going to be the only time I say it in this video, because obvious reasons. So from now on, she's going to be Mirror Lady. Get over it. So the legend of Mirror Lady is actually a very old one, and didn't always mean what it means now. In fact, in the early days of the legend, it wasn't dangerous at all, still calling her Mirror Lady. The early versions of the legend said that a woman should hold a mirror and a candle with no other lights on, then walk backwards upstairs, that just sounds dangerous, and look into it while, repeating her name. Mirror lady. And if they did that, they could see the face of their future husband. However, they also had a chance of seeing
the skull of the Grim Reaper.
What this meant was that you would actually die before you married. So you'd die alone. Sad times. So, that was the risk that you'd take if you summoned Mirror Lady in the early days of the myth. But what happens if you summon Bloody Mary now? Mirror Lady. Well, the way the legend works now, you go into the bathroom, you dim the lights. Sounds really weird. Or you might have candles. And then you repeat Mirror Lady's name 3 times in front of the mirror. Although some versions actually say 13. I feel like that's a bit excessive. After that,
she appears.
Now, the descriptions of what she looks like is either a corpse, a ghost, or a witch. All of which are not good. Additionally to these forms, she's also usually covered in blood. Then there are a number of things she might do to you. Some accounts say she drinks people's blood, others say she curses them, sometimes she gouges their eyes out, sometimes she just strangles people, and other times she steals their soul. Whichever of those is the option, I really don't think summoning Bloody Mary is a good idea. Crap! Maybe it was 13. In other accounts, she's actually called Hell Mary or Mary Worth. However, some people actually believe Mirror Lady. Some believe that Mirror Lady was based off of Queen Mary the First. The reason being she had a lot of miscarriages, and that made people suspicious. That's actually really sad. She's been through enough. Don't accuse her of being a witch. However, there's a silver lining to this Mirror Lady thing. There is a scientific reason for it. Science! Apparently, in low light, if you look at your face in the mirror, there's some kind of psychological effect that makes it so your face sort of morphs a bit. Features change, sometimes even seem to just melt away. But it's all just some psychological thing. It's not a demon. Hopefully. Still wouldn't try it out. Finally, we have the Vanishing Hitchhiker, which I feel is a fairly self-explanatory one, even though it's not as common. It's also called the Ghostly Hitchhiker, Disappearing Hitchhiker, or Phantom Hitchhiker. Now the story is basically as simple as some guy driving down the road, picks up a hitchhiker, and they vanish in the middle of the ride. The vanishing of the hitchhiker usually occurs while the car is still moving. And I don't mean pulling to a stop, I mean still fully driving down the road. And they're just, boop, gone. However, sometimes the vanishing hitchhiker just gets out of the car like a normal person. So how do you know they aren't a normal person? If the hitchhiker takes clothes, then those clothes will usually be found later on a gravestone. If they leave behind contact information or personal item, this will often lead to the driver finding the person's family or people who knew them, and then finding out that, well, that person's dead. Well, that's not a very exciting story. Some spice it up a bit by saying that the hitchhiker will speak prophecies, typically of death and disaster. Additionally, there are some local variants, such as in Hawaii, where instead of the hitchhiker being a ghost, the hitchhiker is the goddess Pele, who goes around asking for rides, and if the person is nice to her, she rewards them. So yeah, there are 3 urban legends. These 3 stories, while they may be simple and completely not true, they've all had a very prominent effect on pop culture, with serial killers in movies, ghosts in the mirror, and hitchhikers being not good. Those are the morals of these stories. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!